now been joined by Jimmie Johnson, driver of the number 84 Advent Health Toyota this weekend here at Kansas Speedway. Jimmie, thanks so much for spending some time with us. We'll go ahead and go to questions. If you have a question for Jimmie, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you, and we'll start up front with Zach.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Jimmie, getting back on the car for consecutive weeks now, and just on a little bit more of a regular basis these last couple of weeks. How much does that help you adjust to finding the right feel that you need behind the wheel?
Yeah, it's really helped me inside the car, and I look forward to expanding on that this weekend. And then coming back for the 600 and a lot more mile and a halves in general that I'll run this year. I know it doesn't show it now, but being around and being in the car, I think, is going to really help our competition department as well. This year has been more challenging for us in a lot of ways than we anticipated. But I do think we're getting closer to the consistent pace that we hope to have and should have week in and week out. So there's a real evolution taking place right now, and I'm hopeful that we can really show that on track this weekend as a group.
Can you elaborate on how it's been a little bit more challenging than you guys anticipated, and kind of where you guys are as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to change manufacturers. We have amazing support from Toyota, great collaboration and partnership working with them. But the off season is short. You know, we're a small team. Our resources have had, our people have had a lot more work items on the list than we have minutes or hours in the day or the week. So, but we're systematically working through it all and growing as a company. So it's tough to just compete with Gibbs and Hendrick and all these big teams. But we're making steps forward weekly and I'm excited about the future.
Dustin Albino, J-Ski. Obviously, Jason Burdett had a ton of success with Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series, and now obviously he's with you. What's it been like working with him this year?
It's been great. Jason and I started together on the 48 car. He was my car chief back in 2002, and I've always kept a close eye on him. We've always had a great friendship. This is a new, his real first attempt at next-gen racing, so there are a lot of new things he's dealing with, as am I. But his leadership certainly helps within our walls of the race team. And then, I think I'm at 9 cup races, so the other events in his weekly duties to help the other two teams, is quite helpful. So it's been a great fit, and we're more focused on today and being in the car and the competition aspect that we have, and Dover was more of a challenge than we had hoped. There were a few bright spots, but certainly more of a challenge than we hoped, and excited for this weekend. Yep.
All right, Lee.
Lee Spencer, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio and CatchFence.com. Kind of curious, Eric, you could tell was just chomping at the bit, whether he was hurt or not. I mean, his leg, his arms, everything could have been in traction, and he wanted to get back in that car, right? How did you convince him, just, give it another week and let yourself heal? You'll be better off in the long run because he's a young guy.
Yeah, I don't envy his position, but I really do appreciate his willingness to hear us out. It's not a fun process, and as far as he's concerned, he should have never missed a race. He's just eager and ready to do it, and that's, I've played hurt before, so I get it, and I'm seeing both sides of it. My concern is, we're at a fast track, and an impact like that could happen again, and is his body really ready for that? And that's kind of the question that he came to his own answer on, and realized that it's probably early. And so that's really where we are. And there's a lot of other bits and pieces that led to that. But ultimately, he feels great. He's moving around really well. He was able to get in the gym and exercise. But, to really take a shot that could happen here at this place, it's just early. So hopefully next week's the week. We're still kind of working through the steps as it goes. And I know it's confusing on Tuesday. We have to name who's in the car. But we don't have the approval process with doctors until Thursday. So hopefully within NASCAR they can get that stuff synced up a little better so it doesn't create all the waves that it does. But we'll work through it again next week and see how his progress goes. But I'm hopeful he's back in sooner than later. Yep.
All right. We have a question right here. Thank you.
Harry Loomis, the podium finish. Jimmie, talking about Eric, given that this is a transition year for Legacy Motor Club going to Toyota, with him being your kind of your veteran driver on the team, with him missing at least 2 races, potentially more, given it week to week, how does it change your expectations for the team through the rest of the year?
Yeah, missing a race truly takes us out of an opportunity to make the playoffs on points. So if it's one race, and this is part of our conversation with Eric, if it's 1 race, 2 races, 3 races that he misses, that window unfortunately closes, and it's really about winning a race. So when he's back in the seat, it's not that we never wanted to win, but it just really gives us that one lane of making the playoffs. And we really feel like Eric, on points, would have been able to make it in the top 16. So I hate that opportunity is closed for him, certainly for our team and for our partners, but it's not over. We can still win a race, and Eric's very capable of winning races. We just need to get everything under him, and hopefully we can do that as the summer gets here and get him in on a waiver.
All right. Any final questions? Okay. We'll go up front here.
Trey Lyle, frontstretch.com. Jimmie, what did you see from Corey last week? Obviously, kind of hard circumstances for your Cup debut, but he seemed to perform well last week, and then obviously he's back in the car this week.
Yeah, Corey has done a great job. I think us naming him as our backup driver to start the year has given us as a group time to get to know each other. He's doing sim work for us, so he's in our system. We know him. And, I've been able to watch him, and I've been impressed with the questions that he asks, how he's able to communicate and articulate what he's feeling and experiencing in a concise manner, and then to roll that all up into last weekend and to be able to see more of that. Without a doubt, he's a guy that's not afraid to stand on the gas, but this job is more than that. And to see him really work in those other facets, interacting with the team, taking care of partners. At a young age, he's well-rounded, and I think he has a very bright future. And he's excited to be here this weekend, and hopefully he can get a good result. Thanks.
All right. Any final questions for Jimmie? All right. Thanks for joining us. Best of luck this weekend.
That was easy.
I know, right?
Wow.
All right, there's the checkered flag. Great job, driver.